Go team, go!
Hey, thank you for joining the Escape With Me Book Club. Escape with me, Sam Reiner.
And me, Danielle.
Into our most recent read, come with us as we evade reality and go into detail about a new book. We'll be covering the book from beginning to end, so there will be spoilers. Today we are going to futuristic United States known as Panem, which still sounds like a airline company to me. Published September 1st, 2009, Catching Fire is the second book in the Hunger Games trilogy. Life is still dangerous for Katniss, but at least she is safe from the arena now. Or is she? When the 75th Hunger Games announces that only previous victors will compete, Katniss and Peeta are dragged back into the kill or be killed world. But who is truly going to regret this change of rules? The tributes or the Capitol? Background, this is new. I know nothing. I knew someone was talking about it, and they said that the second book is Snow getting mad that Katniss won the first book. So the second book is, just kidding, there's another Hunger Games, and you have to go back in it. So I was half expecting when I was reading the book that it was going to be out of season. It was just going to be random. But no, it is the 75th one. It is one of the Hunger Games, so it's not completely made up. But yeah, you do get the vibes that Snow made that rule himself.
Well, and the thing is, supposedly, they pull out these old papers and from the dark days, and for 75 years they've been hoarding this piece of paper, and who knows how long they supposedly are supposed to go on, because it's every 25 years is a Quarter Quell. So at least 4 of these have been, quote-unquote, written out from the past. But ain't no way that Snow did not write this to punish Katniss.
Super convenient. Oh yeah, I don't believe for a second.
But that's the Capitol line. That's what they say, is that this was written in the past and it just happens to coincide with tension.
Yeah, so that's all I knew about this. You, as we pointed out, are a huge Hunger Game fan.
I love Hunger Games. It was high school. It was the dystopian era. It was midnight movies. And I know Twilight kickstarted a good chunk of that, but this was the next really big series that took off. And obviously, I love YA dystopian novels. I love the drama, the end of the world type books anyways, but this series holds up. And I've reread it so many times, or audiobooked it, or watched the movies.
That being said, you also reread the Ugly series each year, but you admit that does not hold as well.
I acknowledge that that is trash, but I love trash. Okay, Hunger Games is not trash.
We'll stand by it, slam hand on desk.
Yes.
But yes, this is my first time reading. This is your 12th time reading or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It came out in 2009. When did you start rereading it each year?
I think as each book came out, I would reread. So whenever Catching Fire came out, I reread The Hunger Games and Catching Fire.
And then when the last one came out, you read the first 2 and that one.
And with the 2 new prequels, I have also gone back and reread specifically so I could do them all together again. But at least 10 times.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. It's so good though. And every time I reread it, I will catch something different.
That's nice.
That I didn't know before, or especially with the prequels, when we eventually get to those, you'll want to come back to the series and be like, oh my God, Suzanne Collins is a genius. How does she have a brain like this?
That's exciting.
Yes, it is. I'm so excited for you. I can't believe you've made it this long.
14 years.
I know you had a few little spoilers, but the fact that you've gone this long and haven't read it is crazy.
I'm pretty talented at avoiding spoilers, honestly.
So crazy.
My husband said when I started reading this that this is one of his favorites. So that is the only 2 pieces of information I had going into this.
Yeah. You have to obviously have Hunger Games, but if it was just Hunger Games and Catching Fire, I also would be fine. I do like Mockingjay, and as the rest of the other 2 prequels and stuff too, great. Love them. But if it was just these 2 books, obviously I would want more, but I don't know. I love Catching Fire so much.
Age level for this, though, it is young adult. And for our content warning, we do have murder, blood, graphic violence, death of children, a lot. Not as much as last book, but still. Torture, prostitution mentioned, gore, nudity, death of a parent, animal death, needles, and kidnapping.
I love that needles is in there with it.
Hey, it got in! We have needles.
It does. There are needles.
There's some medical stuff that happens at the end of the book that might make some people queasy.
It's like murder and needles.
I'm just saying.
Thank you for informing the audience, not the needles.
But I don't know how to judge a book by its cover. It's a bird with the circles and the lines and the catching fire.
You have the red copy?
I have the red copy. Is there a different copy now?
Oh, I mean, they have those hundreds of sprayed edges and fanciness.
Oh, yeah, like the deluxe ones coming out.
But I think the black Hunger Games and then the red Catching Fire and the blue Mockingjay, I think those are the covers.
The original, yeah. So yeah, I had no information for this whatsoever. Yay, birds. Yeah. I have no judge a book by its cover for you. Sorry. I had a little bit more last time, but knowing what I do going into this one, nothing. No thoughts. Just birds.
Just birds.
Just birds. But to get into it, I was kind of surprised how much of this book isn't the Hunger Games, which I felt a little bit like last time. Because they go on the press tour and then they have all that time back in District 12. But I also thought as we were reading it, I was a little bummed out. So we start off, we're on the Victory tour. We get a little information about 12, but we're going on this tour, right? And so we see 12 and we get to know 12 a lot. And then she just skips all the rest of it. And then it's like, we're in the capital now. I was a little bummed. I was hoping we could at least a little bit from each district. I finally know what the heck 4 does, but now I'm confused why 4 has careers when they're the fish ones. How you got time to have careers when you're getting fish? I don't know. But yeah, I want more. I want more world building. Come on. Dang it.
Yeah, they don't stay very long because they make a big deal about 11.
They make a huge deal about 11, and then they basically skip to the Capitol, and then the Capitol is just one dinner party that we get to see, and then they're back to 12.
And like dance.
Yeah. Which, can we talk about how in the very beginning of the book, Katniss has way more chemistry with Darius in a couple of lines than she did with Peeta or Gale in the entirety of the last book.
Okay, not gonna lie, this is so cringe high school, but I read a ton of random Hunger Games fan fiction also, obviously, and there was quite a lot with shipping her and Darius. A lot from their 2 interactions.
So I'm not the only one that saw it.
No, it's a thing. It's not a main one, obviously, but you are right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Cinna, oh my god, her and Cinna have so much chemistry in the book.
I know. And they keep it appropriate, which good.
Yes, there is nothing romantic, dear reader.
But they just have an actual friendship. They have more chemistry. You like seeing them together. You understand why they trust each other. And then she's just so meh about both guys because she doesn't have time to process it. And so she's very confused.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, ugh.
Katniss has no real friends. She sort of has Madge, the mayor's daughter, that they sometimes quietly sit and eat lunch together. She has Gale. It's a transactional friendship where they are hunting partners. They need each other to survive in 12.
And he's apparently had a crush on her, but she has just been like, we're friends.
Yeah.
This entire time. And then she gets confused because emotions. And I don't know. I think she's really confusing. I want to keep the friendship with I want to be married. Here's the thing. She doesn't want to get married. She doesn't want to have kids. End of story.
And Gale thinks he can change that.
And Peeta thinks he can change that.
Homeboy has been waiting in the wings, and he's been waiting for her to realize that she also loves him because there is some friendship. There is love there. She does not see it. She's just in survival mode. She does not see boys, and obviously she's keeping tabs on Peeta. Her and Gale have their friendship, but she does not want to get married. She doesn't want to have kids, so it doesn't matter.
It really doesn't.
If that was any kind of goal, any kind of forethought, she definitely would be developing these crushes into something real that wasn't survival.
And this book has not convinced me either. I'm still Team Katniss. I'm still, you say single girl. You have been through so much and you're like, I don't want to have a family in this type of world. And you're about to be the head of a rebellion. You got other things going on.
Yeah.
It's okay. And so it's just like this entire book, it's bad back to, oh, we have to pretend with Peeta. And I feel bad for Peeta, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, you're doing it to yourself.
Oh my God. At the end of Hunger Games, whenever they let go of their hands and they're back in 12, and she clearly takes a deep breath and is ready to just go back to the way things were, because her brain doesn't compute that obviously things are so different, and she is still surviving in 12, but she's out of the games.
She is so bad with people. Honestly, she's so bad at reading them and understanding them that it takes her so long to be like, oh my gosh, Peeta has real feelings. And then she's completely surprised by the fact that Gale has these romantic feelings for her. And then she's so desperate for support and personal connection that she didn't get from her mom or her dad.
R.I.P.
She had to be the adult as a child, and she's so desperate for some sort of security in other people that she's walking this weird line with both of them, because she's like, I don't want to be with you, but I don't want to be by myself at the same time. It's so not good. We need a therapist on staff, please, to fix this. But that is how I feel. I feel like she and Darius has way more chemistry in a couple of lines, because she has to put herself so on guard around them now that there's nothing developing, that I don't feel good about any of it. I don't like when she's confused and she's like, I want Peeta to hold me. I don't feel like this is a good thing. I think this is very codependent. I'm not liking it. I'm not shipping it. I want you both to find happiness. Ugh. That is most of my triangle thoughts at this point in time.
Well, and it's so hard because Peeta outright tells her when they're in the caves and Hunger Games, hey, I've noticed you since I was 5. My dad pointed you out, a little anecdote thing, but I remembered you singing. I remember what you wore that first day. He basically confessed his full love to her. So she knows, obviously, even if he's playing up for the cameras, she knows that he likes her. Gale comes out of the woodwork. There is nothing inherently romantic until he kisses her.
Yeah.
And she's startled. She's made herself clear to Gale for years, because they met when she was 11 and she goes into the games when she's 16. So for 5 years, she said she doesn't like the capital. She doesn't like where they live. She doesn't want to have kids in this society. She doesn't want to get married. And he knows. Peeta doesn't know, because he doesn't know her. He's been loving her from afar.
Neither of which were healthy.
Neither of which are healthy. No, Candace deserves so much better. I hate Gale. I'm on team Gale sucks.
Well, I'm not quite there.
I can't appreciate him at all.
But I don't understand the other side either, where it's like Gale betrayal. That is like, how dare you pretend to have a relationship with Peeta for your survival, because you would literally have been killed otherwise, and this is literally the only way you're going to get home. How dare you?
No, Gale's thrown a little hissy fit. Like, what's his name in Uglies, where it's like, okay, boy.
Oh my gosh, David.
I'm just sitting out in the rain and feeling my feelings. No, shut up.
In a hurricane.
Go back to your house.
But Gale doesn't own her. He doesn't make his feelings known to her in any kind of way.
Until he sees her with someone else.
And then he kisses her, and then they just don't talk about it. And I'm like, Gale, you're also doing it to yourself.
Yeah.
As well. And they're 17 and 18, so we know communication is trash, period. But all three of you, I am such a love triangle person. I love triangles. It's just something I enjoy. I think it adds drama, but not this one. Like I said, I'm team Katniss. I'm not sold on any of them. Darius was cute. I'm very sad for his fate. I think the author did an amazing job of establishing we like this character in 2 very small parts of 2 different scenes, that it becomes like this huge emotional crushing moment when you do see him in the Capitol and you do realize he's an AVOX and he's been punished for him being amazing. So I think she does such a good job. And like you said with Cena, I like her chemistry with Effie. I like her chemistry with Haymitch. I like Gale and Peeta as as people, but I'm not sold on Katniss being with either of them. I'm still team, she doesn't want to get married, so it doesn't matter. Like you said, doesn't want to get married, she doesn't want to have kids. So this is all for naught, because she also doesn't seem to want a non-marriage relationship either. She doesn't want to be your girlfriend. She doesn't want to be romantically with anybody. Y'all, therapy. Anyway, I'm not mad at anyone. I'm just disappointed that we're going to have to go through another book for this. I don't know who she ends up with. Don't tell me.
I will not.
I don't think I want to know. I'm terrified that it's going to be either of them, honestly. Neither is the good ending. But that out of the way.
Yeah, it's so hard to like Gale because he waited until she was publicly with somebody else, even though her heart clearly isn't fully in with PETA or anything. But dude had years to talk to her. And I know he was kind of waiting until he was out of the games. But dude, I don't know. And then he throws a fit because she's giving PETA attention. She literally has to. How do you not see that she's protecting herself and her family and you because the Capitol has called her his cousin?
Which is going to get so confusing.
She's keeping everybody safe.
Yeah.
By being in a relationship.
Well, I think that's why Gale kisses her and then it doesn't come back up. And he's just whatever about it because he realizes he can't be mad at her. This isn't her fault. She had to do what she had to do.
He does throw a big kissy fit.
But you didn't shoot your shot, my man.
Yeah. Neither of them are healthy choices.
No, none of this is healthy.
But PETA, whenever he clearly sees that she's trying to pull back, she is out of the games, they're safe, they're back home, and he's visibly so disappointed and sad about it. And he makes that quip about, oh, just one more time at the end or something at the end of Hunger Games, and then it rolls into this one. But he gives her space for months before the tour starts up.
Yeah.
They casually see each other with Haymitch, taking care of him, but he backs off. And Gale, on the other hand, is trying to double down with the little bit of time that he has.
He also backs off. He kisses her once and then it never comes back up. We're not in Gale hate yet. I don't know. Maybe I read the next book and I'm like, I take it all back. But
he's the worst.
He's listening to Taylor Swift before she even came out with Ruin the Friendship, okay? Should have kissed her anyway. He did, okay? Once, never comes up again. I think they really should have talked about it. It would have been much healthier if we had set boundaries and communicated that. But neither of them are going to do that because neither of them have healthy relationships. Gale probably has a better relationship with his mom, but still, he got parentified. She got parentified. They're not in a society where we can care about feelings because, you know, hierarchy of need here. We are at the bottom. We are trying not to die from starvation. We don't have time to process emotions and feelings. So we are all struggling. This is all bad. I don't like any of it. She was cute with Darius, alas.
I do also, I mean, this is such a random segue thing, but I do kind of wonder because Peeta's the youngest child in his family.
Yeah.
And Katniss and Gale are both the older ones taking care of this family.
Yeah.
If it would have made a difference if she could see Peeta on more of a you get it connection.
Yeah, because there is a divide there. One, because he's town people, which they have a little bit more money, and she's from the seam. And so there's this socioeconomic status difference. But there is a, you know, you had two parents, even though his mom was abusive as heck, but you never had to be the adult.
Yeah.
It seems like his dad stepped up for his needs and stuff. And so even if he wasn't the youngest, even if he was just like whatever, he does not get that on like a huge level. And granted, we now hit the other thing though, where Gale doesn't understand what it's like to be in the Hunger Games. And so even though he understood her on a level that Peeta didn't, now we have this thing where your significant other goes to war and comes back, and you just cannot understand the atrocities that they have gone through, even though Gale has seen the footage and whatever, because, you know, they're recorded. But seeing something and going through something are very different. And so it's all sucks. The end.
It's a very deep, difficult love triangle.
Yes, we could go into it. So, and I'm very curious if I had read this in middle school, whose side I would be on.
Which was a huge thing. The team Peeta, team Gale, huge.
Not as big as Twilight. But yes, it was pretty big. I knew both of their names, and I knew pita had something to do with bread.
Pita bread, obviously. Duh.
Yeah.
Get the joke.
So that was definitely getting around, but it did not seem to hit the 30-year-old women in the same way Twilight did. But that aside, because I'm thinking of uglies when I was like, I liked David, and then I liked Zane, and then I was sad when David came back, which as an adult, reread the series, David's trash.
So true.
Zane is still amazing. So I would just be very curious as a middle schooler who does not understand these very, very complex dynamics and who would have been swept up in the she has to pick one of them of it and not realizing the third option of no, she doesn't.
Yeah, I was always Team Pita. I love him.
You always Team Pita?
My bread boy.
Oh my gosh. He's a painter now, so
Got him.
That was the thing I didn't understand. They were like, you have to have a hobby now. And I was like, so Pita bakes.
Make him bake.
Woo, he can make cakes and stuff. And no, they were like, no, he paints. And I was like, oh. And she's like, yeah, it's like frosting a cake. And I'm like, no, it's not. In any way, like frosting a cake.
But he did all the beautiful decorations, I think was yeah, this is the same.
The implication was icing the cake, and it's not at all.
Katniss's talent, quote unquote talent, is Tina secretly designed her a whole wardrobe
to pretend she's in fashion.
Here's my fashion line. It's Katniss. That man is busy. I love him so much.
I love him so much.
Team Cinna, actually.
There's nothing we could have given you, Katniss. She's like, no, I don't want to do anything in my free time. Thank you. I want to go hunting. Okay. No hobbies.
So we get a lot of them hanging out in 12 and getting ready, and then they go and do the victory tour.
And President Snow comes up and he's like, we see through your act and blah, 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 blah. And the only thing I know about the first prequel that came out is book 0 is it's basically the backstory of Snow to figure out why he's so perturbed by Katniss. And so knowing that, I don't know anything about it. I don't know who it is or whatever, but that's all I know is somebody being like, so this is just why he's super petty about Katniss, because she reminds him of his ex-girlfriend or something. I don't know. You're doing so good at not spoiling it.
I am trying so hard not to tell you anything. There's 5 books, okay? It's a lot.
There are. And so he shows up and he's like, no one believes you and you're causing rebellion and revolution, and if you don't do good on this press tour, bad things are going to happen to you and the family. And so she goes and then immediately screws it up just by being herself. Literally, she is the rebellious symbol because she can't not. Everything she does pisses off the Capitol. It's just who she is as a person. Literally, all she does is be nice to Rue's family. They're there, and she gives this beautiful speech about how much Rue meant to her, and that was enough.
And then Peta, coming in clutch.
Well, Peta started it. Peta's like, we're gonna give you our winnings. I don't remember what. It's like a month's worth of our winnings each year, which is enough for them to live very well for the entire year. And he just says that out of pocket, and they're like, we don't even know if we're allowed to do that, but we're gonna do that. And then at the end, Katniss just feels this urge, like, I have to say something to Rue's family. I can't not say something. And she does. And so that causes this random dude to hum this tune that Rue always did when the end of the workday was. And then they do this salute thing that District 12 does when they're saying goodbye to tributes. And so it's become the symbol of rebellion. And then people out literally getting shot in the streets by these people. You're not allowed to leave this building, Katniss, and your people. Girl didn't even mean to do it, and she did it well. She learns that rebellions are happening in 8, and they've been rebelling for days, and apparently that's the fabric industry. Okay, here's the thing.
Yeah.
At this point, I am convinced President Snow's an idiot. He is raging so hard against his own people, and I get it, whatever. You're a tyrant. The point is that you're terrible. But he hits his own infrastructure. And that's where it boggles my mind. You meet these 2 people from 8, and they're like, yeah, he bombed the factory where we make the uniforms for the peacekeepers. And then you come to find out later that the Capitol can't get seafood because 4 has been doing something, and they did something back to retaliate. What are you doing? you're gonna run out of stuff. You bomb a factory and it's going to take months and months and months for you to build it again to get those uniforms back. What are you doing? What? And I know at the end of the book, he's like just straight up takes out 12, so you're not gonna have coal. Period. He's so stupid. And in the way he's pushing his people, you're literally gonna hit the point, which he has. None of this is Katniss's fault. This has been brewing under for a very, very long time. And it just so happened this random teenage girl did something right to the point he's pushing his people where they're like, we're gonna die either way. We might as well try. This whole book is just me looking at this and being like, President Snow's an idiot. This is why your government's being taken down by teenagers because you're dumb.
Yeah, President Snow definitely is an emotional reactor. Just can't seem to stop himself.
He really can't. And I'm like, how have you made it?
He's so tactical one moment. Okay, you can see the plan. You can see what clearly he's trying to do, like with rigging the Quarter Quell to try to get rid of some of the figureheads, because that's what
the other victors.
The victors end up being basically spokespeople for their district and little minor celebrities, and the Capitol love them.
He brings them all together.
Yes.
The Capitol loves these people. So I was a little surprised that maybe they were. We don't get to see the Capitol really, that they were so upset by this. But I was like, they had them all vote for her wedding dress. And then you're going to come out and you're going to be like, yeah, they're going back in the Hunger Games and one of them's probably going to die. And I'm just, your PR team, which I bet his PR team, if he's the type where if one of them says no, they get like beheaded or something. But someone's doing you a disservice, man.
Yeah, he's like, I want Katniss dead. How can we make this happen and make it make sense?
And so let's bring all of these victors together who have a bone to pick with the Capitol.
Yeah.
You don't believe for a second that they don't.
Well, and some of them were treated like little pets. Some of them, despite everything that happens to them, they are treated very well. There are some that do not join the rebellion. They are very clearly loving the Capitol. They love their life in their town.
But it's just the careers. It's 1 and 2, and that is it.
Yeah. Like I said, it's not all of them.
It's not all of them, but it is most of them.
It is most of them. Or maybe they're not in the rebellion, but they're just more neutral or don't care to live.
You know that these districts are rebelling, and so you're like, you know what we should do?
Put it on a parade. Put it fully in everybody's TV so they have to see me punish them is what his idea was. And yeah, if you don't think of any of the consequences and don't actually think this all the way through, that sounds like a great plan. Let me punish the people that you guys love.
Let's bring together all the people that have become friends over the years who would have been in the districts when they were rebelling. And let's just bring all those people together. What could go wrong? He's given us such a scary figure at the beginning of the book. Like, I know what you're doing. I'm not going to be caught out or whatever. And then he proceeds to do the stupidest things for the rest of the book. How would that ever backfire? I'm so confused. Oh my gosh. That first book better make this make a lot of sense. You have said she looks genius for it, so I will take your word for it. But yes, they're back in the arena.
Okay, you totally skipped over how they got engaged.
They got engaged.
It was her last-ditch effort. Her and Haymitch finally clue PETA in on, hey, the Capitol's not happy with us because he's just been baking his bread, doing his paintings, living his life back in 12. But Katniss has gotten a visit personally from President Snow when she's out there hiding and doing stuff. Or maybe that was after this. I don't know. But she knows that Snow is not happy. And so as a last-ditch effort, they're like, okay, fine, we'll get engaged because that's the big thing. And they do. And then Snow says, yeah, you're not fooling anybody.
Into the pits we go. Return to the arena. Which, at the thing, Katniss's din says something with people. I stand by. She sucks with people. There is a new game master, right?
Oh, the head game maker.
Yeah. And the dude just straight up comes up to her and he's like, we're having secret meetings to plan the thing, starts at midnight. Hey, check out my cool watch that has your symbol. Okay, bye. And then you find out at the end of the book, to the surprise of only Katniss.
So true.
Oh my gosh, he was in on it the whole time.
And because the game makers, which he joined in a little later, so they build arenas years in advance. They're not just automatically there.
No, it takes forever.
They used to reuse them, but the newer ones, because they turn them into a tourist trap for capital citizens.
That makes so much sense.
They get preserved. It's a clock. It's a big, giant clock with 12 spigots, and he shows her a literal watch.
Yeah.
And it's so not subtle, which the movie also is great, but you don't get any very clearly Katniss not understanding because they want the audience to get it. So they do make it a little less subtle. But it's just so funny as soon as you put two and two together that, oh, there's no way that guy was not a part of this if he showed us a Mockingjay clock.
It shows her symbol.
And she doesn't. She still doesn't get it.
It shows her symbol, which she knows is now a symbol of the rebellion. And the way he does it is the least capital flighty thing I have ever seen. It is so intentional. And so from the beginning, I was like, holy crap, he's in on it.
Yeah, Katniss don't see it.
I did not get the arena's a clock. Maybe because I had a hard time visualizing what she was describing until she was like, oh, it is a clock.
Tick-tock, tick-tock.
And then I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's a hint. And even then, Katniss like, oh, he was just maybe giving me a hint. So when I mentor the people, they can get a Katniss.
He knew you were going in, girl.
He's the head game master. Of course he knew.
Well, and a lot of fans that don't use their whole brains, they thought that they had to wait until there was a boy and a girl from each district, which is true. She is the last final puzzle piece because District 12 only has Haymitch. And so if the Quarter Quell had happened without there being a girl, a Katniss.
Yeah, I was shocked. Absolutely shocked when they were like, everyone's going to have a victor. And I literally put in my notes, I thought most districts didn't win. I thought it was just 1 and 2 and 4 that was winning all the time. And she's like, well, they managed to scramble out enough for each district. And I was like, that's convenient. And only 2 of them are super old.
Yeah. And one of them was a volunteer, so.
She was still a victor. But yeah, for that district, yes, for 4. This is such a bad idea. Oh my goodness. Anyway, Snow just shooting himself in the foot to spite himself aside, we could talk about some of the other characters, because I am absolutely in love.
Team Finnick. I love him.
Not for Katniss. I am all down for him and whoever Annie is, the other girl that lost her mind, but he's pretty great. He holds his own. He's really intelligent. He is annoying in the beginning, but once he stops the stupid, trashy, I'm a man, I sleep around with everyone bit, he's a pretty cool dude. He's charming. He's intelligent. I would want him on my side.
He's young and athletic also, which is very helpful for about to be going to the games.
Which is very helpful. He's 24 because he won when he was 14. What's not to like?
He is also one of the other youngest ones because most of them are at least in their 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
Most of them are old except for Mags, and I think there's one other one that was kind of old.
And I am glad that they point out, like specifically PETA points out, everyone's just messing with you, Katniss.
Yeah.
You're really easy to mess with, and so that's what everyone's doing. And I'm really glad about that, and that Finnick like almost immediately dropped the I'm flirting with you bit because you are 24, my man.
Yeah.
She is now 18, yes, legal, but...
Oh, she's still not 18 though.
Is she not? She's still 17? I thought because a year had to have passed, so she should be 18 now.
She was 16 in the first one.
Is she?
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah, she's a baby.
Still inappropriate. It's weird, man. Back off.
But it's so obviously not flirting though.
He was obnoxious.
Yes. Well, and even some of the other ones are joking with her.
Okay, but one of them, Johanna.
Oh, I love Joanna.
She just gets naked in front of them, and it's weird. She does that several times.
They're trapped in an elevator after they go and do their little interview, and she just strips down.
And then when they're trading, she does wrestling, and she does the same thing again. Like I said, Pete is like, this is a tactic. everyone's trying to whatever. But okay, Johanna, whatever. You do you, girl, but a little weird.
It's so funny.
She's from District 7, which is apparently lumber. I'm starting to piece together. We're getting there. But she and Finnick are friends. I do end up liking Johanna. She is not sold on Katniss, but she's sold on the cause.
Yeah.
We love that. Then we have Wyrus and BT, who, my heart for both of them.
They're so cute.
Oh, both of them had my heart. Everyone was so mean about them, but I liked them from the beginning. Katniss also liked them, so they're pretty great.
They're from the technology district.
Yes.
Or I don't know if that's officially what it's called, but they're just so smart and clearly autistic coded. And they are older, but they're 40 something? I don't know exactly when their games happened, but they weren't young when they won them. They weren't like 14 like Finnick.
Yeah. And I don't remember how BT won, but Wyrus won because he had a wire and he like created a trap that way.
That's Beatty.
That's Beatty?
Beatty's the boy with the glasses.
I need to write this down.
Yeah. Wyrus, the one that goes a little bit crazy.
Yes. Okay, sorry. I have it written down. I swear I read the book, guys. They're so interchangeable.
There's so many names and they're all crazy.
Yeah.
And then at some point, Joanna calls them nuts and bolts.
Yes.
Which is just really funny because she's nuts and he's bolts because he does electronics and more of he's the crazy wire guy.
Yeah.
Which is confusing because Wyrus you would think would be the one with the wire.
Yeah, that's what gets me.
I think that's what your brain's doing.
Yeah, I absolutely think it is.
But no, Beatty is more or less the star of their duo. I mean, Wyrus also brings a lot to the table, but she is a tiny bit nuts because of trauma.
But she figures out the clock before anyone else. She just isn't able to communicate it very well.
And she doesn't stop until everyone understands that that's what she's been meaning to say.
Yes.
She does the tick-tock over and over and over again, driving Joanna crazy. Like she about kills her before she even gets there.
That is the one thing that made me change my mind on Johanna.
I love Joanna.
That she's like, these people are driving me literally insane, which it is very much a personality for that to be very frustrating, but she still does it.
Yeah, she was assigned a task and she did it.
And she says it's because she wants an alliance, but I'm getting the vibe it's because she wants to help the rebellion. That made me come around on her. I wasn't a big fan of yours. You seem a little in your face. Could go either way.
Joanna's just very prickly.
She's just very prickly, which I can get behind.
She's fierce to the ones she loves and the causes that she cares about.
Finnick likes her and he seems pretty good at people.
Yeah, Finnick is our personality hire, but he's so good at it that then he also gets good at his job.
No, he is the unicorn where you hire for his skills and then he also is a good coworker.
He is beautiful also.
I don't care about that.
Well, everyone else does.
Oh, well, ooh, Finnick.
Finnick is hot, okay? That's the whole thing.
He is specifically mentioned as handsome many times.
Yes. Acknowledge it, please. Suzanne Collins wanted you to know.
Sure. Yay! Cute faces don't win rebellions, okay? Where is our Simone Biles going? Smiling doesn't win you medals, okay? That is my thoughts on that. Okay, cool. He's attractive. Ooh, doesn't mean a lot when you're dead. But yes, no, he has his other good traits. Otherwise, I feel like this is the type of book that would hold it against him that he's beautiful, you know? Because all the capital people are pretty people. They only care about looks and blah, blah, blah.
Well, and Katniss has an instant dislike of him, which does almost immediately go away once Peter's like, nah, he's messing with you. Because she thinks that he's trying, I guess, seduce her or flirt with her seriously.
Not seduce her, but she thinks it's part of his personality that he can't help it.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not an idiot. Please don't do this. So I think she gets offended. I don't like that you think I would fall for this. Which is fair. I would probably also feel like that. My dude, we're about to be in murder games. Stop flirting with me. PTSD is real, my man. Cope your way away from me. Speaking of, Haymitch is still not doing well. He has has severe alcoholism to the point that this book confirms that he gets massive withdrawal symptoms if he does not have his alcohol at all times. But that being said, this man is a genius. He is so good with people. It is ridiculous. He, in the background, is doing so many smart things, you come to find out, because Peeta and Katniss are like, we don't want allies. We don't want to team up with people, whatever. And Haymitch is like, cool. And then the games start, and you come to find out Haymitch in the background has allied them with District 3, and then Finnick and Johanna. And then Katniss starts noticing people acting weird around them, specifically going out of their way to keep Peeta alive. She thinks her too. And so in the background, he's literally part of this massive rebellion, part of this massive coup. District 13 is real, by the way. It was radiation. It got bombed to smithereens, which you're going to bomb the radiation plants? Ah! What is wrong with you? Anyway, that aside, I've done my rant on that. It's whatever. In the beginning of the book, Katniss meets these people from District 8. They're running away. They're trying to get to District 13. And Katniss is like, oh my gosh, it could be real and whatever. And Haymitch is like, it's not real. And then in the end, you find out, and he's like, yeah, of course it's real. No, duh. I am so in awe of Haymitch, especially of how we were introduced to him in the first book, of him falling off the stage because he was so drunk. And then he's gonna come around and be this super mastermind. And at one point, he's like, yeah, Katniss, this is why we don't let you in on the plans, because you suck at them. Anyway, somehow you've managed to make yourself the figurehead of this rebellion.
Nah, Haymitch made her the figurehead of this rebellion.
Haymitch is so good.
He planted the Starcrest lovers tidbit. He trained and coached Peeta on how to really sell their love story, and did not tell Katniss because that girl can't act, and he knows it in Hunger Games. And it was very clearly a Haymitch getting them sponsors, only giving them to Katniss to edge her on and get her aligned with Peeta. And the rules changed. Katniss and Peeta did none of that. That was all Haymitch, getting the Capitol stirred up.
And somehow, Katniss, who sucks at literally everything people, is able to understand Haymitch's very vague codes that he sends these packages with, which I am going to 100% credit to Haymitch for understanding Katniss so well that she would understand what these clues are, because it's not Katniss.
I think it's more of him being able to read her. Yes. They're both from the same. Honestly, that's mostly it. They both don't love people.
But he's so good at them.
Yeah. Haymitch is more likable overall, because even all of the victors that are in this quell, he's friends with. Whenever they go to towns and stuff, if he's not completely drunk or whatever, when they're doing the visiting and stuff, the victory tour and stuff, he goes and chats with some of them as long as he has the ability.
Apparently he has a friend.
Yeah. And every year, like Chaff and Beatty and all of them, he has friends.
Yeah, which is so crazy.
Would Katniss eventually make some, having to be the female mentor? Maybe. Probably not, honestly, because she would hide with Peeta, and he would go be likable.
Yeah, she would avoid the Capitol, I feel like.
Yeah.
So, Haymitch, I didn't even know he was a character. I knew about Effie freaking Trinket, who I do still love, but barely plays a role in this book, it feels like, as in comparison to the last one.
Yeah.
Haymitch, I did not know this man existed, and he deserves all the praise. I am so thoroughly impressed with this man. Give him a rebellion. Yes, I would absolutely trust Haymitch with the rebellion at any point in time. I'm so impressed. I cannot say strong enough how impressed I am with Haymitch. I trust him thoroughly. If he dies in the next book, I will cry. Because you can tell me if I'm correct. I'm pretty sure Effie doesn't show up in the next book. Because from my understanding, the movie she makes up that she joins the rebellion, but she doesn't actually in the book.
Yeah, she is not as big of a part in the next one as the movie makes it.
Yeah, because I feel like she's just become a fan favorite, right?
Yeah, well, and the actress, obviously, chef's kiss.
Does a really good job.
Yes.
That's always good to know. So he's being too helpful is my concern. Being too helpful and you're not the main character / someone really attractive for the readers to like.
They needed an adult to take care of this situation because clearly it's not going to be Katniss.
Can we clap for a YA teen dystopia having a responsible adult in the room?
I love it.
Claps. So many claps.
Because technically, a good chunk of this story, they're all adults except for Katniss and Peeta.
Yeah.
Because Gale, I think, had turned 18 because he's in the mines.
Yes.
Prim, obviously, is still a child, but they don't interact with anybody else. That's it. It's just the two of them now, and they're 17, so they're almost adults. So while it is still obviously YA, it's nice that there are some adults with their fully frontal lobes being in charge and not Katniss.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem with a lot of the YA dystopians, is the 16, 17-year-old teenage girl who suddenly magically is the chosen one is left alone with the plan, the big plan, and they don't even tell Katniss.
No. And he straight up says, this is why you're not allowed in on the plans. I can't get over that.
Even, hey, they're going to be your allies. Katniss is not told, first of all, that Finnick's on her team. He is given the gold bracelet that Haymitch was wearing because Effie, sweetheart that she is.
Okay, I do love this.
Got them all gold things to match each other so they would know that they were a team.
To match Katniss's pin, and Haymitch makes a concession for the bracelet, and I was kind of shocked. Okay, whatever. Maybe he has positive feelings toward Effie at this point. No, he got the bracelet so he could give it to Finnick so Katniss would know that he's an ally. This man is playing 4D chess. Put him in charge of the country. No, don't. He has a horrible alcohol problem, but you get my point.
Okay, but there is love for him and Effie. They are so cute as their little friendship bonding. Yeah, Effie's a little bit delusional because she is capital, so she'll never understand district whatever, but they've been together for so many years.
Yeah, but a part of me wouldn't be surprised if he were bitter because she is basically the capital coming every single year because she is the one in charge of District 12, and she's, as we pointed out in the last book, kind of the worst. So yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised if there was no love lost there, but no, they do have a working relationship for sure. The fact that it works is what's shocking. But yeah.
Definitely got some 4D chess going on though. So they don't tell Katniss about her allies.
No.
It is a funny moment when they'd gone to a little bit of training. It's right before they get in the arena. And Haymitch is like, okay, who do you see as potential? He's thinking maybe some of the safe careers that he's friends with. He's thinking of some of the people that would be good and young and healthy. I'm sure his mind is thinking Finnick.
Yeah.
Specifically, Haymitch is trying to get her to say that out loud. And no, she said, I want Beatty and Wyrus, who are the crazy technology people that just sit in the corner and look at wires all day.
That it was an absolute fluke that you were victors to begin with.
Yes.
And the old lady.
Beatty did a little bit of work, but Wyrus's, I think, was a fluke.
The only one I know for sure is a fluke is Annie, because she just swam well.
Yeah, they flooded her arena and she just happened.
Was the best swimmer.
Yeah.
Which, if I was a fan of the Hunger Games, I would be like, lame.
Oh, Wyrus did something with mirrors. She was hiding so they couldn't see her or something, right? Was that Wyrus? Beatty specifically
made a trap.
Made a trap, yeah. But no, Katniss is like, no, I want these two. And he said, oh, okay. Anybody else?
Those two and Mags, the old lady, who has apparently had a stroke and is unable to communicate properly.
80-year-old woman who had a stroke, who's clearly not well. These are my three choices. Nobody helpful, nobody young, nobody able to put a fight against Brutus, who is a giant, and Ebiana, or however you pronounce hers,
who's a vampire because she sharpened her teeth.
And she is a vicious victor. These are the two specific capital darlings.
Obsessed.
Yes. And then there also is the brother-sister duo.
They are from Gloss and Kashmir.
Kashmir. That's who I was thinking of.
No, those two are District 1. My apologies.
Yes. They're the beautiful brother-sister duo that won a year behind each other. And they're volunteers and they're beautiful. And they're still young enough to be a huge fight.
Yeah.
And so Hamish is like, literally pick anybody that could help you fight these 4 people.
As many as possible, preferred.
As many as possible, because you're trying to get numbers. And she said, no, I want these 3 random people who are not going to be helpful at all. And so Hamish has to deal with that. And so he gets Finnick, he gets Joanna. I don't know if the Morphlings are actually on their side, the 2 that are so drugged up that they basically hide in the forest. And it's a beautiful moment, but the one sacrifices her life to save Katniss and Peeta and the whole little gang of misfit people that are slowly banding together to form this rebellion. So I'm not sure if they're actually officially part of their group rebellion or just happen to not care if they live or die and just go out with a bang, because they are very drugged up. But I think they're part of the rebellion. I like to think that Hamish also swayed them. That's not canon, though. We don't know their motives at all.
But we were going to make an educated guess.
Yeah, Hamish is great. He's so good at behind the scenes.
But yeah, so it's both a normal Hunger Games and not a normal Hunger Games. A majority of the threats are the arena itself, which is a clock, and it's separated into 12 parts. And every hour, a different section has different deadly killer things happen.
I just am so confused why they move anywhere. To be fair, it does take them a good while to realize what's happening.
It does.
There's blood rain that Joanna and Beatty and Iris end up in, and they come to them all soaking in gross, literal blood rain. There's some howling, creepy monkey things that attack them. There's misty fog. It's a really cool arena visually, but I'm still so confused why once they figured it out.
My thing is, they kept dealing with the electricity and the paralysis gas and the crazy monkeys, and then there was one where you could hear your loved ones begging for your help.
Yeah, that one was very difficult.
And then there's one that's a massive wave. In comparison, how bad is blood rain?
Yeah, so you're gross. So you need a bath in 20 minutes. It's fine. Don't open your mouth or your eyes. Just let it happen.
Finnick and Mags know how to create a tent. Oh no, it's about to start. Let's move over 2 sections and then make a loop and come back.
Yeah.
They kept going back into dangerous areas.
Well, and to be fair, at some point, it's a big moment, but the entire thing swerves around so that they're lost off balance and they don't know which one is the start, which one is 12, which one is 1. So at least whenever that happens, it's like, okay, yeah, I get why you're trying to figure it out and move around a little bit, but they don't stay still nearly as much as they definitely should. But even in the first Hunger Games, Katniss does an entire tour of the entire giant circle, the entire arena, just tracking along. I don't know. She's definitely a restless tribute for sure.
Because there are others trying to kill them. Like we said, there are some of the careers who are actually treating this like a Hunger Games, even though the rest of them aren't, which I feel like President Snow must have been raging when he realized that, first of all, they figured it out so quickly, and then they were able to just avoid everything for most of the rest of the time.
Yeah. I mean, because there's 24 that go in.
If he was not part of the rebellion, he would also be killed.
Yeah.
Especially for a quelling. The quelling is supposed to be a really big deal because it happens every 25 years and it's a really big whatever. And then it's just, we just need to walk around a little bit every couple hours.
Well, and Snow was very clearly trying to make this quick. And I think it was just been worse that it kept going on a little longer than he kept thinking it was going to.
Yeah, they just teamed up. Who could have seen that coming?
Yeah, all these people who more or less have been friends this whole time.
Who have been studying the Hunger Games in the Capitol and making friendships. Because it's one thing when you have a bunch of 12 to 18-year-olds that don't know each other, that do have this segmented district pride that if I do this, my district's going to get food, I'm going to survive. And so it's different to have that and then to have actual adults getting into the arena, having already gone through it. And it's such a bad idea. And it ends badly for him, obviously. I don't think it's a spoiler. Let me guess. The rebellion wins in the third book. Oh my goodness. Who could have predicted? But yeah, that's where I'm at with President Snow, where like I want to be like, oh my gosh, he's a super scary villain and whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, you're so dumb. I can't.
Yeah, this was short-sighted for sure.
But here we be. What else is there to say? Katniss and the group decide that they're gonna create a trap to take out the other couriers. So BT leads them through this rigmarole where he's gonna set up this wire to connect to this tree that lightning always strikes. And then they're like, oh my gosh, it's not a real tree. Yeah, the guys. Anyway.
Lightning keeps striking it. What do you mean it's not a real tree?
It's not charred. Weird. So they're going to do that. But Katniss and Johanna are running the wire down to the sea and then it gets cut, which, come on, guys.
Yeah.
No one thought of that as a possibility.
You guys aren't even covering it up with leaves or anything.
They're just walking with this wire to the ocean. Anyway. It seems to Katniss, and only to Katniss, that Johanna turns on her and attacks her. I'm so tired. I like Katniss so much, but in that moment, I wanted to yell at her. Because what happens right after is the two couriers that are still alive going, oh, she's gonna die in a minute anyway, let's walk away. And I'm like, weird. I wonder if Johanna attacked you, quote unquote. She slices her, and you come to find out it's because she was taking out her tracker. I thought at the time she was doing it so the couriers thought she would die at any moment, and that saves her.
Yeah, I instantly went back to the tracker, which they didn't make as big of a deal in this one as in the Hunger Games that they did.
Yeah. I totally forgot about it.
Yeah. Well, because they don't super remind you, because we also have the drama of Cinna happening right before she goes on.
True. She gets hit with the tracker and then they don't let her elevator go up. So she has to watch Cinna getting attacked and then dragged off by the peacekeepers. Oh, that wrecked me a little bit. I was so sad. But we get to the end. Katniss has been beamed up. They use a claw, but you know. Gets beamed up, is going out of her way to make everything difficult by ripping out her wires and stuff. She's convinced they're trying to keep her alive so that they can torture her. She's not thinking clearly. She's been through a lot. Give it to her, okay? Eventually, and I do mean eventually, it takes several times of her getting knocked back out for her to come to enough for them to explain the situation. Like I said, this whole time, Haymitch and the Games Masters and the other contestants and a bunch of other people have been working and creating this rebellion, and Katniss is the symbol of it by happenstance. I can't get over that. She is the girl on fire, which, can we talk about how Cena went from, oh my goodness, girly and whatever. No one trusts Katniss. No one trusts Katniss. No one tells them her plans. Cinna doesn't even tell her what her outfit does in either book.
Yeah, he's like, okay, give it a twirl when you think it's time.
And he's like, when you think it's time? And she's like, can you give me a signal? And he's like, yes, I'll give you a signal. Both times.
Okay, but could we circle back to the interviews? Because you totally skipped over all of those. And that is my favorite part.
Oh.
Caesar Flickman
has to do the interviews again.
Talking with PETA, talking with Katniss, talking with everybody.
Everyone and every single person has a dig against the Capitol that they do. Every single contestant. Snow, this is a horrible idea. But yes.
Even the ones like Cashmere and Gloss, even the ones that are the Capital darlings, they still are like, oh, I love you guys. I can't wait to come back. It's anti-Snow, but they're doing it in their own way.
Yeah.
Finnick says, oh, to my special someone, meaning all of the Capital.
But actually to Annie.
Yeah, but actually Annie.
Which I ship this. I don't even know what's going on or what's happening, but this is the only ship I've been down for this entire book series.
Yes. And then Beatty says something along the lines of, well, doesn't it stand to reason that if the words were written, they can be unwritten, the laws about the Quarter Quell existing?
Yeah.
And he tries to use logic. And Katniss, God bless her, she comes out in a wedding dress that the Capital chose from Cinna.
The wedding dress that the Capital chose.
And she's beautiful. And Joanna makes this comment like, really? I can't believe you wore that, thinking that she's just a Capital mindless whatever. And so Katniss says something about, oh, Snow made me wear it.
Yeah.
And Joanna goes, make him pay for it. And it's such a good bonding. It's such a little thing, but they're bonding together on that of, I don't know, solidarity. Hey, we all hate Snow. It's a turning point for Joanna a little bit. But so Katniss is in this beautiful wedding dress. She comes out and she does her little interview, all of that, whatever. And then she stands up and she does her dress, her little twirl, beautiful twirl.
And once again, she has no idea this is going to happen. Even Cena knows not to trust her with plans.
And she turns into, her white dress turns into a blue, purple, whatever, black. She turns into a mockingjay and raises her arms, and it's such a vivid, wow, no subtlety, which obviously this is why Senna is murdered later. But literally, she's the mockingjay.
Yep.
Great. She goes and sits down. In walks
freaking PETA.
Mr. PETA.
Freaking PETA.
Mic drop. Bombshell. Let's just tear apart everything.
No, guys, we're already married, and that's a good thing because Katniss is pregnant.
Mr. from the first book. Oh, she's here with me. Oh, if it weren't for the baby. Ah, PETA, sir.
And the crowd rebels. The Capital audience in that room gets so mad. It is awful. And I am just, holy crap. Someone give PETA more. Maybe Haymitch told him to do it. Maybe this was his idea. But PETA's good.
Yeah.
I would also want PETA on my team. That's why I'm neither for Gale or PETA. I have no hate for either of them. As people, I'd be like, yeah, both of you are really good for your own way.
Gale is so useless. Ugh.
Nah, well, if he was there, he'd be more useful. But he's not in the books.
I know.
Twice. Why are you guys shipping so hard? He doesn't exist. But
I know. The people that are Team Gale baffle me. He's barely in these.
Maybe next book. I don't know. But apparently not for you, at least. But
I have so much love for PETA. He does stuff like this. Okay. Even if Haymitch is coaxing or coaching him on this,
he delivered it perfectly.
The delivery, if it weren't for the baby, mic drop, lights go black, everybody's screaming, oh.
He's pretty much useless in the games, though, you know?
Okay, he's a lover, not a fighter. Okay, I'm gonna get mad. You better not make fun of my boy.
Last book, he did hide a lot, but he was still an asset in certain ways, okay? This book, he was only a liability.
He did hide a lot. He did wait around until the end. And then he was sick. Okay. Well, he has a hurt leg from the first book, okay?
Good thing literally everyone in the arena, except for like 4 people, are trying to keep him alive. All I'm gonna say. It's a lot of work, and a lot of people died just to protect PETA specifically.
Yeah, they just try really hard to keep him alive. They have to protect PETA because Katniss cannot go on without him.
No, she will be done.
Literally. She doesn't realize that that's the kind of love, even if it's just trauma bonding. bonding, whatever. She will not be the Mockingjay. She cannot function without PETA. Because even in the beginning of this, when Gale gets hurt, and she's bedridden for days, she's by his side. She cannot function without whoever she needs to be okay. She puts everybody before herself. I mean, the few that she loves and cares about, obviously, not the whole district. She could care less about anybody but Prim and Gale and PETA, and Haymitch is in there too.
Her mom has come around.
Yeah.
They seem to have made peace.
They have made peace, and it is a little bit better.
Much better than the last book, yes. I was not impressed.
But it's hard because she's been the parent of the house for years, basically, with her mom. But still, if her mom had been the one that died, she would have been inconsolable. But no, everybody's keeping PETA alive because they know Katniss can handle her own. They just have to keep him safe in a little perfect bubble to keep her a part of this. But also about the interviews, there's a big commentary about how a few of them had commented and said some kind of something about, oh, well, do you think this will change the games? Do you think it'll whatever? And PETA, knowing that it probably won't, but he is giving her the last chance to be saved that he can possibly think of, or Haymitch, or whoever is in charge of this actual plot, because if she's pregnant, then she couldn't be in this quell. She would have to wait until the next one if that was going to be something that the Capitol that Snow actually cared about.
Yeah.
If he did actually care about unborn children, since he clearly doesn't care about already born children once they're 12 and are in this reaping.
He doesn't care about anyone but himself.
Oh, he doesn't care at all. But this is literally PETA's last-ditch effort to try to help protect her and get the sympathy and get her out of this arena, even though he knows that they're all going in. He's trying to make the Capitol unable to ignore her again. Because that's what he did for her in the first one. That's what he's doing for her in this one. I don't know. How can you not love PETA?
I think he's pretty cool.
PETA love. I love him.
I think he's pretty cool. Like I said, bit of a liability in the arena, but
honestly, Haymitch should have gone in.
You might not be wrong.
Fighting wise,
he still could have done all of his politicking behind the scenes. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, no, I forgot about the alcohol withdrawal. No, he wouldn't have been able to make this.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. But anyone could have done the bread symbol, which I thought it was a code. Katniss is as dense as a log as ever, but I thought it was a code because they were always specifically like, oh, there's 12 thingies and whatever. And so I thought they were trying to do a code, like, I don't know, but I thought the fact that there was 12 was important. It turns out what district it's from was important. Still a very good code.
Also, was that before they figured out the clock? Were they trying to tell them the time?
They got District 4 bread before they figured out the clock, and then they got District 3 bread a couple of times.
But they got 12 of them, right?
And they got 12 of them, and so I was like, this is a code that clocks stuff.
12 is the clock, yeah.
But it was a symbol of how many days away, and then at what time.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the alcohol withdrawal, I would also agree with Haymitch, because they watch Haymitch's year.
Yeah.
And the dude figures out the force field and uses it as a weapon at the end, and it saves his life. Katniss in this game finds out about these squares where you can see the force field because there's this glitch square. Katniss! Of course it's on purpose! You never saw these glitchy squares last year, and then all of a sudden, they're all over the place?
Well, first of all, they didn't have a force field in the training arena like they did this year because Katniss shot at them. So they had to put one up. I'm trying to give her a little bit of redeeming.
Okay, but that's during the training session. I'm talking about in the arena. She is able to find the force field because she can see these little glitch squares that are apparently everywhere.
You think Katniss looked up and cared to notice if they did exist, which there's no proof that it did, but she didn't know to look.
No, I'm convinced that the game master put it in.
But also the head game maker, Plutar, is probably trying to help her out because he realized girl's struggling to pick up any signal being sent to her.
I think he very purposely put them in.
Probably chatting with Haymitch, hey, why is your girl real bad at this?
Can you imagine the conversations they would have? That's a really funny thing to think about. Haymitch's conversation with other people about Katniss.
This is how her brain works. This is just what we gotta do.
She is dumb.
Because I do think they're similar. I do think that if she didn't have PETA, if she didn't have her family, if Haymitch was her only solace, I also think she definitely would let herself go. She would go crazy. She would probably pick up some kind of alcohol, some kind of something too. If she didn't care about living like she does to take care of other people now, like Prim and stuff, yeah, I think they could be fun little drinking buddies. But thankfully, she does have PETA.
Which they are in this book for a little bit.
Yeah.
So, we are going to District 13. Gale is there because, of course, Gale's there. I get it for the book. I get it for the love triangle. But let's be honest. Why is Gale there? Oh, don't worry. I managed to get your mom and your sister out in time. What do you mean, out in time? Aren't we going to District 12? Katniss, there is no District 12.
It's such a good moment, though.
It's very good, but at the same time, girl, you're still dense. District 8 has been dealing with bombings. Even if all of District 12 wasn't gone, you could still piece together that they probably got bombed.
Yeah.
I still like her.
Well, and District 12 also isn't huge.
No.
So taking out even a building, even 10 buildings,
it's a lot.
Would be so devastating to their little town.
And he's just gonna bomb the mines because that's what he's been doing with everything else. I still like Katniss, even though she has her flaws, which I think speaks very highly of the author's ability to personify this character and make her likable and flawed.
Well, and Katniss isn't stupid.
No.
And she's not, ditzy naive. She's not any of those things. She is so focused and she doesn't care, but in such a specific way. It doesn't seem selfish, even though it clearly is, because she doesn't care about anything but the 3, 4, 5 people that she cares about. She loves her town fiercely, but also she doesn't want to die for her town. She doesn't want to be the Mockingjay. She doesn't want to be a symbol for anything. She just wants to live her life and get to live. And so that selfishness is branded in a way, I don't know, the author does such a good job at this world and these characters. I don't know. It's a lot. It's hard to explain.
Do not feel discouraged because I am sassing her a little bit. If I was her friend, I would say this to her face. But my girl, you sit down after it and she tells you your story and you're just like, oh. General thoughts. I was really wondering how we only had one chapter left when we're in the middle of the Hunger Games and then all of this stuff happens like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
I was very curious how she was going to do this, how she was going to pull this off. Because literally you start getting to the point where you're counting pages and you're like, this has to end at some point.
Yeah. Well, because there's, 8 or 9 of them still alive?
There's so many of them alive.
Yeah, because it starts as 24, so...
And then it is a bloodbath in the cornucopia. Last year was apparently more died, but they were kids. They were 12 to 18-year-old kids, most of which have never fought in their life, versus these trained victors. Losing 13 of them seems way bigger than however many kids last year. That was insane. One of the people that she likes as like a trained person from like 11, right? She dies. Cedar dies.
Yeah, Chaff and Cedar are the ones from 11.
And Cedar got such a long description. And Katniss is like, oh, I really like her. I hope we'll be able to team up. And then you find out she died at the cornucopia.
Yeah.
Man, dang it. She would have been too helpful.
I know. Young-ish, mostly able-bodied, mostly capable.
She's in her 60s, but she's still kicking it.
That's why I said mostly.
That was crazy, man. We had a wild ride. It was a really good second book. I always worry with a second book with the trilogy because it always feels like they expand a little bit. There's not as much world building as there is in the first book, but we can't wrap everything up because we have a third book. And so sometimes the second book ends up feeling like filler, and that is not this book.
Yeah. Well, and it could end. The series could just be these 2 books, and it also would make sense and be fine. It's a bit of a cliffhanger.
True. That is how I felt about the Imposter series, where I was like, just read the 3 books, and then Callie is here, and you're like, yay!
And then you're done. Yeah.
Skip the 4th book entirely.
Well, and that's the problem with a lot of second books, like you were saying, they're filler. They're just getting you from book A to book C, give you just enough of something interesting. But this one, you get 15 new characters that have names that are actually important. You have actual relationships building and growing and breaking, and you see some actual strategy happening. It's not all great strategy.
It's happening.
It's happening. And there's so much behind the scenes that Katniss isn't aware of that the reader picks up on a lot of stuff.
True. But not all of it.
That maybe Katniss doesn't. But it has to be her point of view.
Yeah. That's how the series be.
Well, yeah, but if it was Peeta, she's much more up on the intake, and we wouldn't get such big, fun reveals, even though you kind of know, but you don't know until Katniss knows anything.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. It's a solid second book.
One question for the author. I was curious why District 4 agreed to this let's overthrow the Capitol plan, but 1 and 2 didn't. Because 4 are also careers, and it's kind of implied the reason 1 and 2 go along with it is because that's what they're there for. They kind of get the best situation, and so even though they don't like the Capitol, they're not exactly going to buck it either, because they are somehow benefiting from it.
Well, and I can't remember if it's 1 or 2. I think it's 1, because 2 is the army.
Which we have still not learned. I found that out from my husband.
Oh, I thought that was in this one.
If it is, I missed it.
Yeah, 1 is luxury. It's fancy. It's diamonds.
It's gemstones.
Yes, which is why all their names are
Glimmer, Cashmere, Gloss.
Fancy, rich stuff. And then 2 is most of the peacekeepers come from 2. And so those are the people that are trained to be loyal, and then the other ones are the pets. Well, we treat you really nice and we give you nice things, way better than everybody else. So they're more coded to stay loyal to the hand that feeds them. But 4, they're fishermen. They're working people, most of them.
Which I'm so confused. Does it make sense? Why are they careers? Does that get explained more at some point? I'm just so confused. And maybe I'm just being dense and being a Katniss, but
yeah.
I was confused when I heard that fishing is what they do, because it's like, where do you have time to make them careers then? Because it would make just as much sense to me for lumber to be careers, because they're out there getting the physical work and stuff.
Yeah.
And they can, in the forest, they can learn traps and plants and stuff like that. So I was just really confused why 4 were careers. Because if you don't have ocean or water, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. Well, and they're pretty good at the nets and the capturing and spearing.
Yeah.
But yeah, 7 should also be a career. I get why some of the other ones aren't.
So yeah, I was just very confused on why 4 are careers, but they're also anti-capital. I don't know. I'm confused. I have questions.
They only show those 3, and maybe they are also the only 3 that have won. I think they're a career by fluke. I think the careers need more numbers, because when you see it, you don't see another guy, which maybe there are a ton.
And Finnick just got picked and no one volunteered like they did with Annie.
Yes, but Annie, Max, and Finnick are the only 3 that are named that there are for sure standing on that stage. They could be the only 3. It does not say that there are more. It does not say that there aren't more for specifically District 4. But Mags won, 50 years ago? Something like that crazy, because she's so old. And Annie won by chance. And Finnick happened to be really good with the trident. I don't think Finnick was supposed to win his year. I think they're careers by just sheer numbers.
Because I would have put, like I said, 7 with the lumber, and they're able to figure out traps. They have physical worth, so they're in good condition. They can use a bunch of different types of weapons. They can learn a bunch of survival skills, like how to create fires. And even though they would be in their element in a forest, they could still learn a bunch of other ones too. So anyway. That's my thoughts. That's beside the point. But that is my question.
That is a good question. I kind of wonder, because she has now done 5 books and they all basically surround the District 12 victors. I do kind of wonder if we'll get a PETA's book, or if she'll branch out into something else, or if she is done, which I hope she's not. I hope she writes as many as our little heart's content as she feels she has something to say. I don't know. I'd love a PETA's book, but I wouldn't want that terrible Twilight where they redid Twilight, but in Edward's point of view. I don't want that. That's not what I want.
I kind of love it for very specific reasons, but yes, it did feel unnecessary.
But if she is sticking to her pattern, it would have to be PETA, or I don't know. She'd have to do something else. And I feel like she specifically was doing this. Less of a question, more of a vague comment on what's happening already.
A request, if anything.
Yeah. I mean, I would love Finnick's story.
True.
Because a lot of the other characters aren't super big, or you don't know enough to care about them too much. Like Max probably had a very interesting one. It was towards the beginning. I think it might have been before Snow took over. I don't know how old she is.
She is very old. Because my thought would be Haymitch, but I feel like we got his in this book.
Oh, that's what the 5th one is. The second prequel.
The second prequel is his time?
It's Haymitch.
That's crazy. You can tell how much I know about this.
I know. The first one is another victor or contestant or whatever, and Snow. And then it's Haymitch's, which is the Quarter Quell for the 50th year. So Haymitch is what, 41, 42, something like that?
Something like that.
I was trying to do math. I would love a Finnick story.
Yeah.
Or even Joanna's. I think hers would be pretty good, but there's so many characters and have more or less 75 years worth of tales to tell.
That is very true. She could just go on for H Hunger Games for the end of time, and I think people would be happy.
Oh, we'd still keep reading them. We don't watch all the movies.
Rating. I would give it a surprise party out of 10. I was not sure what to expect. Like I said, I had that very, very brief concept of an idea, so I wasn't really sure what to expect here, but I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed the surprise. I was happy for it. We didn't have any of that weird gaslighty thing that some people think is good for a surprise party when you're like, pretend it's not their birthday. I never got that. The author doesn't do that. She doesn't make this filler either. It's a very good book. I was very pleasantly surprised.
Okay, I'm going to give it no, I'm going to hold your hand when I tell you this out of 10. Because it is. Katniss needs her hand held, first of all. And second of all, she just needs to grow up and learn and be a part of what's actually happening and seeing the world through everybody else's eyes and accepting how terrible it is. And even though she was promised she got to live out her days, like Joanna said, she was promised she got to be left alone because she won. Now suddenly she's back in it. So yeah, that's the bad news that needs broken.
Read again. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's like you said, I wouldn't say it's completely self-contained at this point, but even if 3 was a flaming dumpster fire, I'd probably still reread this book. The first 2, they're very solid in of themselves. Whatever the conclusion of 3, I would still reread this book.
Yeah, I don't know if I would read just this one. I like reading them all together anyways.
You're going to. 2026 is coming, and so will your Hunger Games reread. You made it, what, a week?
I know, I get to start over in a couple months. I was so excited.
You made it a week in this year, 2025, before you started rereading the Hunger Games?
No, I did all my Vampire Twilight stuff in January pretty early on.
Oh, a month. Woo!
No, I did because the Sunrise on the Reaping had come out. I actually did that book twice. I physically read and then I also got the audiobook. So I have done, and then I also did the whole series also. But yeah, no, obviously I'm going to read this one again.
Favorite of the series so far?
This one.
It's really hard. I'm going to say this one for now. Catch me on the reread and see how I feel then.
Yeah. Well, it's hard because the first one is so good and it can end after the first one. This one, it adds so much. It's great. It also could potentially end after this one and be fine. She does add on in the third. They just keep adding to each other, which is so good for a series. But yeah, the first one, you can just go read that one. But I feel like for Catching Fire, I feel like you have to read both of them again.
Yeah, you definitely have to read the first one to really understand the second one.
Yeah.
But of the two, I think I like two better. Like I said, catch me next time, because I don't want to just say this one and it just is because it's like the new one or something, you know?
Yeah. Well, and with Catching Fire, it adds so many more characters that, yeah, you got to know a decent bit of the ones that are in the Hunger Games in the 74th game.
But they're not going to last to the second book. We got Finnick. He lives, and he's part of the team.
Yeah. Well, and going into this one, there's a chance. And the first one, well, you didn't know that PETA could potentially live, but you knew at least one person in this story was going to live.
And it was probably going to be Katniss, yes.
Yeah. You thought it was only one person. But even though they are back in the Quell, back in the arena, there's clearly been so much rebellious undertones that there's no way that only one person's leaving this. Did you think the arena was going to explode and they were going to be kidnapped and taken away and all of that? Maybe not, but there was more hope, I think, of getting to know and care about these characters.
I know, because with the first one, you're like, oh, I like this character. Better not get attached.
I know. Oh, God. Rue.
Ugh, so many of them.
So sad. Well, and it does a good dynamic of her home life in 12.
Yeah.
For long enough that you get a real sense of what it is. And then also in the Capitol a little bit longer. I mean, I know it's mostly just one big party thing.
Yeah.
But even the arena being a new arena, getting to see the differences between the two. Because in the first one, it kind of feels like, oh, well, this is just what it is. And maybe they're all vaguely like this, but it's such a different dynamic, even just the physical arena.
Yeah.
So much open-ended potential.
Yeah.
Team PETA, there we go.
Oh my gosh.
I'm done.
But have you read this book? Which district would make the best ally? Do you have any book recommendations for us? Tell us all about it in the comments below. If you liked the video, hit like. And if you're enjoying yourself, hit subscribe for more. Thank you for exploring Catching Fire with us. Join us next time when we'll be covering Fate Be Changed by Farrah Rochon. I'm Sam Reiner.
And I'm Danielle.
And we hope to see you and a friend here next time. Escape with Me Book Club is a Lunar Skull production. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok to keep up to date with us. Lunar_SKULK.